This video I share my honest experience story time on meeting a two-time WWE Hall of Famer. What is good, guys? Back here with another YouTube video, and in case you cannot tell by the title below, this video will be a video where I share my experience, my story time meeting X-Pac, a two-time WWE Hall of Famer. And I met him when I was not necessarily super young, but I was 16 years old and whatnot. And before I kind of going in detail how I met him and my experience, if you have met X-Pac, I would love to know what your experience was like down in the comments below. While you are down there, feel free to hit the like, subscribe, turn on post notifications. Also feel free to hit me up on the social media. Links to those should be down in the description below. Again, if you have met X-Pac, I would love to know what your experience was down in the comments below, or let me know on social media, as well as any wrestling related video ideas. And like I said, I was able to meet X-Pac when I was 16 years old at an indie event in my hometown. Back, I cannot remember the exact date, but it was in November of 2010, technically not my first independent event because I went to a free one when I was 10 and a half kind of deal back in like June of 2004. But that was before I knew what independent wrestling was, or really wrestling outside of WWE. But this one in November of 2010, I went to with my cousin because it was in, like I said, our hometown kind of deal. So it wasn't like we had to plan this trip to Toronto or to Ottawa or to Montreal, or it's drive several hours and whatnot one way. It was like 20 minutes there, 20 minutes back, either side of town and whatnot, but still in our hometown and whatnot. And overall, the indie show was a stereotypical early 2010s indie show in Southern Ontario kind of deal, before Smash Wrestling really started, before Alpha 1 got to what it was. Kind of deal. And X-Pac, he was not one of the people advertised. It was like Tatanka and Brutus the Barber Beefcake were like the two big names that were advertised, and somebody else that was not X-Pac. And X-Pac came out during the main event, I think, which was a battle royal and whatnot, as a surprise entrance, if I remember right. And whatnot, ended up either way losing in the main event in a battle royal due to the promoter booking himself to win. Kind of deal, again, stereotypical one-off indie show and whatnot. And he was, because I think he actually had another match, like a tag match, but it was second half of the show, so he stayed around the ringside for people who would want to meet him, because he was not out during the intermission kind of deal. And my mom came out, she didn't come to the show with my cousin and I, but she said, hey, I gotta do stuff in that part of town anyways, I'll drop you off, pick you up, save on gas kind of deal and whatnot. And I was like, okay. And once the show was done, she kind of came over to where we were sitting, and I told my cousin, like, hey, I want to meet that wrestler kind of deal. But I didn't have, I had a phone, but it was like not the best camera kind of deal. And I asked my mom, who did one, have a phone, and two, had a better camera on it than I could afford as a 16-year-old kind of deal and whatnot. So I told her, and I'm like, see this guy, I kind of want to meet him and whatnot, do you mind taking a photo for me and like printing it off as like a 5x7 kind of deal? She's like, okay, if you get his attention, and kind of point to the camera kind of deal. And eventually he came to where we were sitting and whatnot, and we had like second row. We could have had front, but it is what it is. And I said, hey, X-Pac, do you mind a quick photo? And he's like, yeah, sure. And I pointed to my mom, like, hit the camera's right there kind of deal. And he was like, okay. And I probably, me being 16 years old, not really, like, I've met probably like 4 wrestlers up to that point, both on the independent level and mainstream. I probably got a little bit too close to him, and he had like that you can take a half step back kind of look. But either way, we got a photo, and I think my cousin got a random piece of paper signed that he found, kind of deal. So I don't have an autograph from X-Pac, but my cousin does somewhere, kind of deal. It's been well over a decade. I don't know for sure if he still has it, because again, it was a random piece of paper and whatnot. But either way, quick, like 10 seconds photo, and then he kind of moved on and whatnot. Cool enough guy, but honestly, I tend to forget that I've met X-Pac, kind of deal, because of how quick and how, in a way, sudden my experience was. But either way, he was friendly enough to a 16-year-old who attended their first really legit indie event, kind of deal, instead of bumping into one at a local mall for free and whatnot. But either way, that was my experience. Again, like I said earlier a couple of times, I would love to know what your experience was meeting X-Pac. If you met him, let me know down in the comments below. While you are down there, feel free to hit the like, subscribe, turn on post notifications. Of course, you don't have to if you don't want to, but it would mean a lot to myself if you did. More importantly, hope you guys are doing okay mentally, emotionally, and physically.
The world that we tend to make up is nothing but a fantasy until you wake up. I feel like I'm just lying to myself, yeah. Cause I just crossed the line like I'm playing offside. I do it how I want and I'ma do it till I die. Feel like I'm just lying to myself, but it's